Hi, I'm Joe.
I'm Joe's mom.
And we're Eastside Vibes.
This is part 2.
Yeah, we actually just filmed this video, and for some reason, it got corrupted.
Yeah.
So now we're going to have to regurgitate everything we just said. But
that's okay.
Yeah, that's okay. Anyway, the album we're doing this week is After Hours by The Weeknd.
Mm-hmm.
And you could probably tell we were going to do The Weeknd because I'm wearing this shirt.
Yep. I don't have any Weeknd shirts, sorry.
The reason I picked this is, one, there wasn't anything that came out last week that, I just felt like was worth it for us. Although, now I'm reviewing this one album that I was like, maybe we could have done this, but whatever.
Okay.
Anyway, I wanted to do After Hours because I know, you've said you've heard and listened to Dawn FM. That's
Yes.
the one narrated by Jim Carrey.
Yes.
And if you listen to that, you'd probably be like, what is this?
Mm-hmm.
You know, why... Well, it's a cool concept, but why did he do that?
Right, because the very beginning, it's Jim Carrey talking like he's God, and I'm just like, why? Yeah. What does that have to do with anything?
Why is he God?
Yeah,
and then you if you listen to After Hours, you're like, oh, you understand what the story was?
It makes sense now.
Yeah. So, anyway, After Hours and Dawn FM are a part of a trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
And the third edition of this trilogy, which apparently is supposed to be his last album... under the name The Weeknd.
Oh.
Yeah, I guess he's going.
I saw that. Yeah.
He's going to start making music by his real name. I'm pretty sure.
Cool.
But
good for him.
Yeah. So this is the end of The Weeknd. That album, he hasn't announced the title yet. It's supposed to come out soon.
Good.
And I was like, we may as well listen to After Hours quick before that comes, because he could just randomly drop it. You never know with these guys.
Right.
So I wanted to make sure we have, the background before that comes out whenever it does. But yeah, this is probably one of my favorite albums of the 2020s, if not my favorite one.
Okay.
I absolutely love this record.
Okay.
And I figured that you would like it too, because it's very 80s inspired, and I know you really liked House of Balloons. He has a phenomenal voice.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But as we always do, we're going to talk about some of our favorite songs and then get into how we feel about the whole thing, or at least how she feels about the whole thing at the end.
Mm-hmm.
The first song we picked is Hardest to Love. That was one of my mom's picks, so I'll let you get into why you like that one.
Well, so the theme behind the whole album is the fact that he's a jerk. Okay, he keeps doing bad stuff, like cheating on his girlfriend, doing drugs, and all this. And so in this one, he's really talking about the fact that I am a really difficult person to love. I'm very difficult because I do all this. Yet this woman, this girl, because you said this kind of inspired by Bella Hadid.
Yeah, his actual relationship.
Yeah, and so she kept staying with him, no matter what. She
did, if you kind of followed them, you would know that she did break up with him multiple times, and then they would end up back together, and then eventually now they haven't been together for years. And...
Right. So he has that to him, and this came up, you said, in other songs he's done in the past, but I think to me one of the most prolific phrases in here is the fact that he's saying, "My house is not a home." If we're living here, but we're living separate lives, we're living in separate beds. It's just the house is just a shell, and it's not a home.
As far as the sound of this one, it gives me 80s synth pop. I think last week you said you really liked NXS, and this reminds me of that kind of music, like Devo, that kind of stuff.
Devo. Woo.
And his vocal performance is phenomenal on this. Yes. I know you said that's why one of the reasons you like it so much.
Correct.
He has very full and strong vocals.
Right.
Which that's the true of some of your other picks, I think.
Correct.
You really like the songs where he kind of shows how powerful he can be as a vocalist.
Yep, definitely.
Whereas I think some of the ones I picked were more of the more rhythmic ones where his vocals are good, but they're not the main thing. So
yeah, I liked those power ballad songs.
Yeah. But this is I think this is probably one of the most popular songs on the album. I mean, every song is popular.
Right.
I think you said when you listened to this, you're like, oh, I have heard almost all of these songs.
Yeah.
You just didn't realize
it was an album.
It was like in this sequence in this album.
Right.
But I'm not surprised you like Hardest to Love so much because of that 80s feeling it has. But yeah, that's Hardest to Love. The next song we picked is Scared to Live. And that was another one my mom's picks. I think this is right after Hardest to Love on the album, right?
Yes, yeah, I think it is.
Yeah.
So with this one, in my opinion, his vocals are just gorgeous.
Yeah,
I mean,
this might be the best vocal performance on the whole thing.
It is. I could listen to this song over and over and over. Like I could put it on repeat on my Spotify and just keep listening to it.
Thing to say.
Yeah, I mean, really, I really love how he sounds that much. And I'll watch musical performances on SNL. Out of all of them that have ever been there, this is my favorite. I mean, it's just, and I was saying to him that they always have the be silent signs. They're telling people not to say anything during a song.
Yeah.
But you hear people like whooping during this song because it's so good. And it's just beautiful. And then the storyline with it is amazing as well.
Yeah.
Again, sad. This whole album is melancholy.
Yeah.
It's a very melancholy album. But in this one, he's basically telling the girl, leave. Like, don't be scared to live without me. But she keeps coming back to him no matter what. And it's like he wants her to stay, but he wants her to leave. And it's this whole, up and down thing. But again, his vocals, unbelievable.
This is a song where I've never seen him live, but this has to be one of the best songs to see performed.
Yeah. To
see him just on stage singing like this, because it's beautiful.
It's beautiful. His voice is amazing.
Yeah, Scared to Live is definitely a very sad song.
Very ballad. This is said you thought of
Michael
Bolton.
Yeah.
Michael Bolton.
That kind of emotional,
yes,
powerful music.
Yes.
The third song we picked is one of my picks. It's Snow Child, even though I think you said you might have picked this one. I
almost picked this one too.
I mean, I've said that about, I said that about a few of yours. That's just how shows how many good songs are on this album. That it's hard to even distinguish because they're all good.
Right.
But as far as the well, first of all, I'll get into what this song is about, because you kind of mentioned this before. There's a line on this song where he basically says, first of all, Snow Child is kind of about his rags to riches story.
Okay, yes.
And him, how he still provides for all his friends that are in jail, but he still feels very alone in his fame.
Though he has all those people with him. Right?
Yeah.
They're almost just, what do they call those? They're leeches. They just leech onto you.
Yeah. And he feels like he has no one in his life. Yeah. He didn't realize that he pushed for this life and didn't realize what it was going to be. And there's a line in it where he basically says this $20 million house, and I don't even live in it. And there's a line on one thing that makes me think that this really isn't that much of a character, and this is more about his life.
Yes.
There's a line on Starboy, which came out years ago, where he says house so empty that it needs a centerpiece. So he's had these exact feelings for years and years and years.
Yep, I've got this shell, I've got the house, but there's nothing to it.
There's nothing in that. I don't know. There's nothing in his life that's makes him passionate besides maybe the music.
Yeah, and there's no emotional bond to the house. There's no
emotional bond to anyone.
To anything, yeah.
Besides this girl who he's he's destroying his relationship with through his drug use and
his addictions.
Yeah. As far as how Snow Child sounds, it had I said it kind of gives me a 90s R&B feeling, something like TLC or Aaliyah.
Okay.
But one thing I really like about Snow Child is his cadence.
Yeah.
He does this sing rap thing, which he when he first got famous years and years when I was in high school. That's what he was known for. He was the first artist I ever heard that it's like he's rapping,
right?
But
he's singing.
He's singing it.
Yeah. Yep.
Like the tone is like you can like hear like that he's a very good singer like through his tone.
Right.
But like the cadence is like almost like a rap flow.
Right. Right.
And almost every single like new hip hop artist that comes out nowadays does this.
Right. I said it's like a Tizo touchdown where he's rapping but he's singing too. Yeah. But you said that there's
all these people do it.
These people have to be they're influenced by the Weeknd.
They all have to be extremely inspired by the Weeknd. And yeah, I think that Snow Child is really cool like in its sound because like it has like that modern like rapping flow but like an more retro instrumental.
Yes.
And then it ties into the story like really well. It kind of like talks about like why he is the way he is. Whereas all these other songs are like about like, him doing the things that he's doing. Snow Child kind of like shows you why he is doing these things. Right. Why he became the person that he became.
Yep.
The next song we picked is Faith. And one thing that when I said this, I feel like you were like, that makes sense. That's like cool about Faith is Faith through its title, like obviously. Right. And then through the melody is inspired by R.E.M's Losing My Religion.
That's amazing.
And if you think about that, you can like hear it in the melody. Right. It feels super modern. It's driven by synths. And I really like how the beat keeps like switching from like upbeat synth pop to... Correct. Trap. Correct. It goes back and forth, and he'll like switch his cadence in the song like with the beat change. Right, right. But if you like think about Losing My Religion, you can definitely hear like how this song is inspired. Yes, yes. By that one. And as far as like what Faith is about, it's kind of talking about how like I don't know if like he used to be a religious person at any point. But he's talking about how he's losing, like, that good side of him and almost becoming a shell of who he was. Yes, yes. And he's singing to his girl that, like, he's basically saying that he knows he's going to, like, OD. And he's like, you're gonna, like you can't, like, leave me. Yeah. You know, like, you're stuck.
Yeah, he said, like, if I OD, you're ODing, too. Yeah. I mean, it's like...
He's, like, dragging her down into, like, almost, like, into hell in a way. Yeah, like, into, like, the pits. Yep, yep. Oh, and he's like, you're gonna stay. So, like, he keeps going back and forth from, like, telling her to leave because he knows, like, how bad he is. Right. To, like, kind of trying to convince her to stay. Right. Even though he knows he's so bad. Faith, you know, I said I liked some of the ones that were, like, the vocals aren't as prominent. Faith has very prominent vocals, definitely.
Yes, it does.
It's like one of my favorite vocal performances on the album. They're very powerful and it pushes the emotion of the song. Okay. I really like in the end when the beat cuts out and he's like...
It's just him.
Almost like humming. Yeah. It makes the song feel like very all-encompassing, you know? Yes. Like Faith to me is like easily one of the hugest songs on this whole album. Wow. Like it just feels big. Okay. You know, like some of these other ones don't like... I would say, like, Scared to Live feels huge because of his vocals. But, like, Hardest to Love, like, doesn't feel that big. Right. And Snow Child doesn't feel that big. This one feels, like, massive. Yeah. And that might be because of, like, how the beat keeps switching and his vocals, like, get, like, more powerful and less powerful, like, with the beat switch. It makes it, like, a very interesting song because it's, like, modern and not modern at the same time. Yep. But, yeah, that's Faith. The fifth song we picked is In Your Eyes, and I think you said you really liked this one too.
I did.
It doesn't surprise me that you would like this one because it's another one with a very like 80s sound to it.
And then I saw the video. I've never seen the video.
I was surprised you never seen it.
Woo! What a video!
Like the video is what's cool about like the music video is it's like so. It tells a story of like him being like a killer,
and like it was almost like Halloween. Like Michael
he's
Myers.
Like following a girl, and then in the end she kills him. But it like because of like the lyricism in the song is like him telling her that like he knows that she knows he's lying about everything he says, and she's kind of looking at him like, dude, I know that you're lying. Yep. in the video, she kills him, and it's almost like she's free of him.
Right, right.
You know, like him being a killer symbolizes him being like a bad boyfriend,
Right.
a bad person to her.
Right.
And she's kind of like, I'm done. Like, I cut you off. Literally, I cut off your head.
Yeah, and the symbolism of that then makes me understand, you know, Dawn FM, because this one is like he dies, you know, he dies as a shell or whatever, and then Dawn FM, you've got, you know, God speaking.
I mean, the last song in the album, and the one that we didn't pick, is literally called Until I Bleed Out.
Yeah.
Like, it's like he literally did die.
Yeah, he did.
You know? But, yes, like, one thing I really like about In Your Eyes is, I mentioned this, I really like how it has an instrumental, bridge.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's not very many songs nowadays where, like, they have that. It reminds me of, like, an 80s, like, I don't know, like, hair metal ballad where they'd have these big, guitar solos.
Yeah.
You know, and this instrumental bridge is the saxophone. It's actually played by Kenny G, which is cool.
Mm-hmm.
You can see him in the video. You can see his hair. He's, like, in the shadows.
Yep.
But, yeah, I think that's really, it's just, like, a really interesting thing that you don't hear a lot these days.
Right.
In Your Eyes is not, like, one of the most, it's not a big or powerful song, but it's just very, like, pretty and sweet.
Right.
You know,
even though she chops his head off.
Yeah, and kind of makes you want to dance. And but lyrically, it's very sad.
Yeah.
Like, the sound of the song definitely contrasts the lyricism, which is, I always love songs that do that.
Right.
So, there's it's easy to see why this is probably one of the most popular songs on the album.
Oh, definitely.
But yeah, that's In Your Eyes. The last song we picked is Save Your Tears. And before we get into it, I want to ask, do you like this version better, the album version, or the one with Ariana Grande?
The one with Ariana Grande.
Yeah.
Definitely. We've talked about the fact that this is like the first time I ever saw him smile, like ever, in anything he's ever done when he did that live performance with her. And this is, again, ballad type of thing, but she really brings his voice out.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like he's having to sing better than what he normally does.
Yeah, he has to like push it.
Yeah, to be as good as she is.
Yeah.
Definitely. So, so this song is actually inspired by a Christmas song that all three of my kids like, and it's inspired by Last Christmas by Wham!
Yeah. Like, I didn't realize that this song was literally, like, lyrically inspired by that song. Because I remember when I wrote about it, like, when this album came out years ago, that I said the instrumental reminds me a lot of Last Christmas.
Oh my gosh.
But I didn't know that it literally is inspired by Last Christmas.
Well, then you go back and you listen to Last Christmas and you're like, this is really depressing.
Yeah.
It's like not a happy song, even though the beat is happy.
You said even like what he's saying on the song is like very similar to Last Christmas.
Oh, definitely. Because in the song he's talking about, now that the girl has axed him out of his life, they meet back up again. They're in an occasion where they're both there, and he sees her and she sees him, but she's kind of like, whatever, I'm done with you, whatever. And he still wants to be part of her life, you know, whether it's, boyfriend, girlfriend or whatever. And that's the case in Last Christmas.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah. Like for Save Your Tears, he's kind of like telling her like, if you're gonna leave me, like, don't cry about it.
Right, right, yeah, like, don't, save your tears for, not me, for something else.
Yeah, like, that, like, we both know the reason, like, why you're doing this. And I'm not, like, worth that.
Right. I almost feel like, in a way, the girl's almost playing with him, too, a little bit. Like, she knows and it's just me maybe, because it's like she knows he's there, but she's not going to give him the time of day either.
Oh, like for this song?
Yeah, for this song. She's like, I'm not giving you the time of day.
Yeah. Well, yeah, she deserves to do that,
100%.
Because of like the way he treated her.
He's a jerk.
But, yeah, so those were our favorite songs from After Hours. One thing I think is cool is that neither of us picked Blinding Lights or Heartless, which are definitely, they're two singles and they're almost two popular songs on the album.
Right.
Blinding Lights might be the most popular song of the 2020s so far.
I believe so.
Like, it's got, like, it's just, like, one of those songs that, like, they're gonna, like, look back to this generation and think, like, people are gonna look back to this generation and think of that one.
Correct.
But because of how, like, overplayed it was, I feel that's probably why we didn't pick it, but that's not saying it's not. Oh, it's still a great song.
It's a great song, but when they're playing it, the TikTok dance and all that, it was too much. But on this album, that's the only upbeat song. Really. Yeah. It's only lighthearted, like, music.
I think Heartless and Blinding Lights are probably the two most, I don't know, I don't want to say, they're not necessarily happy, but, like, most positive songs.
The beat is like like a more, if you think
even
of the beat.
Even on, like, on the song Heartless, he's talking about how, like, he doesn't need her. Right. You know, like, he'll be fine.
Right.
And he knows that, like, you know, he knows that she, like, this is just how he is. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And Blinding Lights is about, like, you know, like, Las Vegas and, like, living in that lifestyle.
Yep. Oh yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah.
But I think, it's, like, interesting and cool that, like, we could pick so many, like, songs, like, good songs from this record and have it not be those ones.
Correct.
At all. That just shows how good the album is as a whole.
Right.
But, you know, I've kind of talked about, like, how I feel about it, but I wanted to know, like, how you feel about this one compared to Donna Femme and then in general.
Right.
Because I know you really liked House of Balloons.
Oh, I really liked House of Balloons. Yeah. I really did. That was his intro to us, you know. I really like this album. I like his voice. Scared to Live, like I said, just beautiful. Probably one of my favorite songs of all time, to be honest with you, wow. which is big. Yeah. And you know, we're talking about ratings and stuff like that, and I would probably rate this an 8, I think. I mean, Scared to Live by itself could almost be a 10 to me. Yeah. But I would say an 8 overall for this one.
I mean, I think when I wrote about it, I give it a 9. I would still give it that. Like, I think it's just an awesome album. But do you like this one better or Donna Femme better?
I like this one better. Okay. Definitely. But now I'll have to re-listen to Donna Femme really well to double check my feeling on that one.
I think at the time I would say I liked After Hours better, but now I think I might like Donna Femme for the concept, even though like the songs may not necessarily all be as good. Like when you listen to this and then when you listen to that, like the story of that, like it's literally like him going through purgatory. That's really cool.
It's like each album, it's like 3 movies. It's almost like I feel like you're watching The Godfather 1, 2, and 3. Yeah. They're 3 different movies.
What's interesting is like you don't know for the third one, we don't know if he's gonna be in like heaven or hell, right?
Yeah, where is he now?
You would assume he's supposed to be dead, you would think. Yeah. So, like, is it going to be a very, like, dark album? Or is it going to be a very bright album? We honestly don't know.
No, we don't.
But, yeah, I'm very excited for that. Who knows when it's going to come out. Yeah. But I hope he just, like, randomly drops it. I love when artists do that.
And you said that's going to be his last Weeknd album.
I believe he said it's his last album, like, under that moniker.
That's amazing.
And then I don't know what he's gonna do after that, but
who knows? Well, keep acting. He's acting, that's for sure.
Probably that. Yeah.
Maybe, you never know. By the way, this is our 25th presentation that we've done so far.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
I know. It's very cool. And then we were talking before about, you know, because I said I really didn't know what a 10 was to me. Yeah. But then you reminded me that I said SZA was a 9.
Yeah. It's like you said like more than a 9.
Right.
Like
right.
That, like that's like your favorite album that we've done easily.
Right. And we bring that up because the Grammys is up tonight.
Yeah, the Grammys is tonight and she's nominated for Album of the Year.
She better win.
So like I don't know. I really like that Lana album, which also came out last year, but I just don't think there's anything that came out in 2023 that's better than Control.
Right.
So
it's so good.
We'll see. Or SOS, I should say.
Yes, it's great.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, that's how we feel about the Weeknd's After Hours. Anyway, I'm Joe.
I'm Joe's mom.
We're Eastside Vibes, and thanks for watching.
Bye.
Have a great day.